Hi, I'm Jamie from Sci-fivision. Nice to talk to you guys. Nice to see you again, Oliver. It hasn't been that long.
Hey, I see you're still in space.
Yes, yes, I'm still floating around.
Love that background.
Thank you. So to start out, why don't both of you talk about your character and why did you want to be a part of it?
The, sorry, was the question talk about character and then why we wanted to be in it?
Yeah, a bit about your
Uh,
character and why you want to do it.
uh, I play a guy called Neville Strange, who's this sort of very famous and beloved tennis player at the time. He was sort of like a celebrity, and you meet both characters. They're going through this incredibly public and humiliating divorce. That's this sort of big scandal at the time and in all the papers. And he then decides to, because of his infidelity, he then remarries and then decides to invite his ex-wife on his honeymoon at his aunt's estate for the summer. So there's something about Neville and I guess the sort of sense of privilege and the complexity of the dynamics that are at play between him and his ex-wife Audrey, and this sort of codependency and this very very complicated history that they have, that really I thought was such an interesting thing. We talked a lot about Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, and there was something in that that I thought was so interesting. This sort of toxicity that they needed each other and couldn't live without each other, but hated each other and wanted. There's that's such an so that was my kind of initial draw. That and Sam and Angelica Houston and Ella. Over to you.
Ah, yeah, literally ditto. But yeah, I think the main draw was the relationship. I just thought like it was fascinating, and I think Sam being the director as well, I was
Yeah,
a huge admirer of Sam's work, and I think like I went in for the audition and I was really intrigued by the piece and all of those elements that you spoke about. And then I think the way that Sam was kind of working with me in the audition, and I felt more and more drawn to it because of the depths and the questions he was asking and the way he was directing, like was just really exciting. And yeah, I think literally all of what you were saying, but we said it so many times we know each other's in the brains.
I was going to say, talk a bit about working together and building that relationship between the two of you, between your characters.
well, I feel like we
We
like
spoke a lot,
we spoke a lot, and
yeah,
I think we Ella and I seem we seem to kind of work in the same way and have this real, um whether it's sort of right or not, but have this real kind of like, no, but what's the truth, like
yeah,
what's the
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of,
yeah,
and like what about this and what about,
yeah.
so it was a real kind of joy, like getting to
Yeah.
kind of explore.
Mm.
And Ella would kind of, read something and sort of say, well, have a look at this, like what do you think about this? And I was looking up, what's all that stuff about, like the coquettishness and
Oh yeah, it
like
was
all of
this
these like really
the
interesting.
rules of seven rules of seduction. Sam recommended these books or the laws of seduction or something, which it's really interesting because it looks at archetypes a lot. But
Yeah.
I think what's great is like exactly what Ollie said. Like we work really similarly, but I think on a film set, um like it can be so isolating that you're in your brain all the time, so it's so incredible to kind of get to share that with someone. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? Because it's what you get to do in a rehearsal room. And maybe Sam also, like, initiated that kind of dynamic because he comes from such a theater background. But I think
mm,
that was kind of the space we were in, and we just like shared loads of stuff. And um we kind of looked at sections from Erotic Vagrancy, the book about Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, and looked a lot at their dynamic and stuff. And it was just great to just get to talk about it so much because you just don't
mm,
get a lot of time to rehearse.
mm,
Um, so like talking about it is just that's what you do around a table if you got like
mm.
weeks of rehearsal. You just chat and try and dissect it and stuff. And then I think just like we just got on so well. So then there's just a natural kind of comfort, and when you have to do really tough scenes,
Yeah, you sort of feel like there's a safety there.
yeah.
Talk a bit about the costumes and how that affected your, getting into character. Just for both of you. We'll just go Ella first this time.
The costumes were such an important element. Charlotte is really character driven when she designs her looks. And yeah, I think for Audrey, like she had her in a lot of high neck stuff that was quite restrictive or kind of made you sit in a certain way. And all of that is brilliant, especially when you're looking at an era that's, like different to the one we're in. And yeah, they were such a huge part of it. And of the storytelling, like, and with all of the girls in it, like she was telling a really different story with each of them. And it's so much harder sometimes, like even we were in rehearsal room like a week before, like doing stuff and reading scenes. But when you're reading scenes in your normal clothes in such a kind of stylized period, it's kind of difficult to fully, I don't know, it just adds an entirely different element when you start putting on the clothes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, Charlotte's incredible. She's amazing. Then you were in all the loose clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. And tennis get up.
And tennis get up.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
lucked out. But very like Charlotte is very, very clever and thinks about character and is very, very specific, which you don't always get with costume designers, but she works in a way that
she cares so
she
much.
cares.
She
like,
really
really,
cares.
really deeply.
Yeah.
And also is resourceful. That I've said this before, but we don't have 150 million, you know what I mean, to just like plow into. So when when you are kind of like it sort of forces people to be incredibly resourceful and to think so carefully, and
they have to compromise as well. So it's like, and it's heartbreaking then because there's such ambition and passion with like not loads of money, like you say.
But I do think that sometimes makes people work in a much more kind of direct and concise way, in a way.
All right, well, we're out of time. Thank you. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I watched all 3 episodes last night, so.
Oh, great.
Thank
Stayed up too late, but I enjoyed it too. It's fun. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care.